sample matrix structure. See this row and column wise. So here the decision engineering and manufacturing and contract administration and purchasing, accounting, human resources. These are the divisional part. Then here we are categorized into our categorized depends on our project. The project name is alpha, beta, and gamma and omega. So see here, the remaining part of divisional is common. Design group and manufacturing and contract and purchasing, accounting and human. These are the common divisional department for the individual project, right? Alpha project and beta, then gamma and omega. See the functional division. Then these are the things are combined together to produce our productivity, right? Then the team structure generally called as a structure in which the entire organization is made up of work groups or team. The advantages for this team structure is employees are more involved and empowered. The disadvantages for this no clear chain of command, then pressure on teams to perform. Then matrix project structure is that what it is matrix structure that assigns specialized from different functional areas to work on projects who then return to their areas when the project is completed. So that means generally our project is a structure in which employees continuously work on the particular project. Then as one project is completed, the employees move on to the next project. Right. So this is a matrix project structure. The advantages for this structure is fluid and flexible design. Fluid and flexible design that can represent to environmental changes and faster decision making. Then disadvantages complexity of assigning people to project task and personality conflicts. Then boundary-less structure. Here the structure that is not defined by or limited to artificial horizontal and vertical or external boundaries, right? So here it is not defined by or limited to artificial horizontal vertical or external boundaries. It includes virtual and network types of organization. So that advantages for this boundaryless structure is highly flexible and responsive, utilize talent wherever it's found. Then disadvantages lack of control and communication difficulties. The learning structure here it comprises that a structure in which employees continually acquire and share the new knowledge and apply that knowledge. Right. So learning structure is which employees continually acquire and share new knowledge and apply that knowledge. The advantages for this sharing of knowledge throughout the organization, sustainable source of competitive advantages, right? The disadvantages for this and a part of employees to share knowledge for fear or losing their part, right? So the large numbers of experienced employees are the on the verge of retiring, right? So the next one, what does that affect our structural choice? There is a two part of the attributes affect our structural choice. One is mechanistic organization, another one is organic organization. Here, a structure that is low in specialization, formalization and centralization. In mechanics organization, here it is that a structure that is high in specialization, formalization and centralization, right? So high in specialization, formalization and centralization. See the diagram clearly. The mechanistic model having a number of hierarchy based structure. Here the organic model is the basic model, then comprise all the individual models, then produce some functional way of representation. So here mainly it covers high specialization, rigid departmentalization, clear chain of command, narrow span of control, then centralization, high formalization. Here the organic model covers cross-functional teams, hierarchical teams, then free flow of information, wide span of control, decentralization and low formalization. Right. So the mechanics versus organic organization we are generally comprised by using these terms. See that our mechanistic is the hierarchy, right? So that a multi-layer or comparative or bottom to top or top to bottom execution. Here it is a organic is a comprised one. So we are worked individually and integrated together to produce some results. So the main keyword is here fixed duties, many rules, then formalized and centralized thing. Here the structure is the tallest one, right? In this organic is a flattest representation, see the diagram, which we are seen clearly by using this diagram. So here it is called as flatter structure. Then decentralized decision authority, right? Because each and every individual function is separately acted. Then here it is a informal communication because each and every department acts individually by using their own authority. Then here it follows a few rules. Then adaptable duties, not fixed duties. Then collaboration for the both vertical and horizontal part. Right. Then what are the authority and responsibility? See the word clearly. What are authority and responsibility? Here the chain of command, the line of authority extending from upper organizational levels to the lower levels, which clarifies who reports to whom. Right. So the clear word for this differentiation, authority and responsibility. The authority is the power or right to give orders, making decision and enforce obedience. So the authority is the power or rights to give orders, making decision and enforce obedience. Then responsibility is the state of or fact of having duty to deal with something or having control over something. Responsibility is having control over something. Authority is a power, then responsibility is a duty, right? Then orders and commands play a vital role in the authority, but here duties and obedience play a vital role in responsibility. It stays for a longer period as compared to a responsibility. Here the responsibility is it gets completed with the completion of the task, so it has a short period. Then responsibility it flows downward, sorry, it flows upward. Responsibility, authority is it flows downward. In authority it can be delegated to others, but responsibility cannot be delegated to others. The right of a manager to command his subordinates. In the responsibility, the obligation of a subordinates to complete an assigned work, right? So the the clear difference between authority and responsibility. In a single word, authority is a power, responsibility is a duty. All right. So it flows downward. In responsibility, it flows upward. Then authority can be delegated to others. It cannot be delegated to others. Alright. So in generally we are having the different types of authority relationship. So that first thing, line authority, staff authority, and chain of command. Chain of command is a common platform for all the things. The line authority is that authority that entitles a manager to direct the work of an employee. The staff authority is a position with some authority that have been created to support, assist, and advise those holding that line authority. Right. So before moving this authority part, we know about clearly line authority and staff authority differentiation. Right. So we will see one by one. So see the diagram. This is the seven levels of authority. Tell authority is just making decisions as the manager, right? See, this is a common keywords involved in this levels of authority. So, tell us that making decision as the manager. Then sell convenience people about decision. Consult, get input from team before taking a decision. Then agree, make decision together with the team. So we can agree with others' point of view also. Then advice, here influence decision made by the team. We need to give some advice to what is the in and outflow for our organization. Then inquire, asking so many questions or ask some feedback after the decision by the team. Then delegate is there is no influence. Let team work together. So yeah. So in this part, delegate no influence. Then let team work it out towards together. So these are the seven levels of authority. Then see the major types of authority. Excuse me. Major types of organization authority here. The line authority and staff authority. See that line authority. The position authority, that means given and defined by the organization. Given and defined by the organization. See the word clearly. Given and defined by the organization. Already predefined post in this line allocated in this line authority. So the position authority that entitles a manager to direct the work of operative employees. Then staff authority here, the position that have some authority, for example, organization policy enforcement, but that are created to support, assist, and advise the holders of line authority. Right. So, in clear point of view, this line and staff authority, line departments perform primary business tasks like primary goal and mission with the line authority to direct and control immediate subordinates. That means sales and production departments in this line departments. Then staff departments support line departments with the staff authority to advise, recommend, and counsel. There is no decision making like HR and labor relations, accounting, finance, and research marketing. See, these are the functional department, right? So that the functional part, individual name for this functional department is the staff department. What is that line department? Here it perform that primary business task for the primary goal and mission with the line authority, right? It directly the line authority to direct and control immediate subordinates. So see this line and staff authority in a depth view, the responsibility to make decisions and issue orders down the chain of command. Right, in the staff authority, it is directly advise and assist the line and other personnel. Who is the functional authority for this staff authority? The right of staff personnel to issue orders to the line personnel in established areas of responsibility. These are the entire part of story, right? So, who is your superior? Who is your immediate superior, and who is your supermost superior? You know, these hierarchy clearly. Dual line and staff authority. Staff personnel exercise line authority within their own departments. This line, see the difference or comparison between these two authority. So it flows down the chain of command. The staff authority is the right to advise or counsel those with the line authority. For example, see this the part. Uh, See this is a example for that line authority. The production supervisor gets a right to direct an employee to operate a particular mission. Right. For example, in the production supervisor gets a right to direct an employee to operate a particular mission. A vice president of finance gets the right to request a certain report from a department head. An individual gets a certain degree of power relating to the performance of the organizational task, right? So these are the workflow in this line authority. So this is just an example. Then in the staff authority, HRD, that means human resource department employees help other departments by selecting and developing a qualified workforce. Then this quality control manager aids a production manager by determining the acceptable quality level of products or services at a manufacturing company, initiating the quality programs and carrying out statistical analysis to ensure compliance with quality standards. Right? Then this line authority is a common point. These are the common or characteristics for this line authority. There's a hierarchical form of authority. The manager is directly communicate to the work of one particular employee. There's the employer to employee authority relationship that extends from top to bottom. The line manager directs the work of employees and makes certain decisions without consulting anyone. There's a small level enterprise. That means top management has complete control. An example of a line manager is a marketing executive, right? Then see this diagram for the command and line authority, the chain of command and line authority, CEO of the particular organization. After that, these are the next level of authorized people, president and executive vice president, and see that this president having number of divisional part of vice president, then region wise classification. After that, that project group classification. For this here, the region again classified into the district wise representation. The district again classified into that number of places, right? Then see the staff authority characteristics here. It has the right to direct or command subordinates who work under them, but with respect, it play a advisory role in recommending and assisting. Then the staff authority, the primary for this is company vision, and secondary is a support and indirect contribution to the line function. Then marketing executive can support in market forecasting and generating product and service. The staff managers provide support, advice and knowledge to other individuals in the chain of command. Although the staff managers are not part of the chain of command, right? So these are the staff authority. So see the diagram for the line authority and the staff authority, line versus staff authority. So this is a common diagram. See the dotted line representing staff authority, then the straight line representing line authority. So here the executive officer, then we are having staff authority like director of HR, then director of operation, director of purchase, then other directors. Then directly communicate to unit one, unit two managers. So unit one manager having the divisional part, HR and operation and purchasing. The same thing having n number of managers. So the general manager is maintaining all the departmentalization. Then these managers are giving reports to the director, then the director is reporting directly as their statement to the executive officer or director, right? So this is the difference between line and staff authority. So the line manager is a generalized one. Here it is a not a generalized one. The line managers are direct others. Here it is assist others. A delegate of authority, but here it serves authority. Then line managers train subordinate. Here investigate into the problems. These are the managers are not a line managers use team wise. Here it solve the special problems. Then line managers exert control over subordinates. Here it make plans. The line managers have the superior power. Here it support the line. The line managers take operating decision, but here it provide ideas to the line. The line managers have the final responsibility. Here it possesses special expertise. Right. So general line and staff authority must work together to maintain the efficiency and effectiveness. So the line authority has the right to make the decision and give directives to the employees that are placed under its chain of command. Right? So the director who has the line authority has the right to give directives to the managers under him. Then generally the line authority is related to matters involving the organization's management, and it is a systematic way it representing here all the, especially in all aspects related to work and conduct that is linked to efforts to achieve the objectives which have been determined. So in general what I want to conclude in this line authority, it helps to those who accept to it work and ensure the efficiency of the activities under their responsibility, right? So that line authority generally it is a relationship between superior and subordinate. Then it is directly related to the objective of the organization, right? So in general, line authority is a relationship between superior and a subordinate. It is directly related to objective of the organization. Mainly it deals with the exercise of authority along the channel of line authority, right? Then the manager is responsible or putting into action the different types of manager plays a vital role in your line authority. Then it dedicated a line manager. Then come into your staff authority. It is a manager to manager relationship. Then it is a indirectly related. Then it deals mainly with the exercise of authority to a channel of line authority. The manager has a supporting role and aids their individual department. Then it designs a staff managers, right? That means a delegated a staff manager. In your line authority, it designed to your line manager, right? So in general, line and staff authority covers in an organization. The line authority flows from top to bottom, and the staff authority is exercised by the specialist over the line manager, who are doing their advising part on important matters, right? So in this, line authority flows from top to bottom. Staff authority is exercised by the specialist over the line manager. Then these specialists stand ready with their specialty to serve line manager as and when their services are called for, to collect information and to give help which will enable the line officials to carry out their activities better. The staff officers do not have any power of command in the organization as they are employed to provide expert advice to the line officers. So, in generally, the line gets out the production, the staff carries on the research, planning, scheduling, and some other things. So, staff authority in general, the functional part, the line authority is a form of production. Then the authority by which the staff performs these functions is delegated by the line and the performance must be acceptable to the line before action is taken. Then the types of staff are functional staff and specialized staff. Then general staff. The staff position established as a measure of support for the line manager may take the following forms: personal staff, specialized staff, and general staff. Personal staff is the staff official is attached as a personal assistant or advisors to the line of manager. For example, assistant to the managing director or some other. Then specialized staff here, such staff act as the fountainhead of expertise in specialized areas like R&D and the personal and accounting. Then general staff here, it covers the category of staff and staff, set of expert in different areas who are meant to advise and assist the top management on matters. Right, for example, financial advisor and technical advisor. So these are the general types of staff. Then features of line and staff organization. Under this system, these are the line officers who have authority and command over line, its subordinates, and are accountable for the task entrusted to them. The staff officers are specialists who offer expert advice to the line officers to perform their task efficiently. In this features and line and staff organization, having the main organization is based on the principle of specialization. Under this system, the staff officers prepare the plans and give advice to the line officers, and the line officers execute the plan with the help of workers. Right. This part of advantages of this line authority and staff authority. Here it brings the expert knowledge to the clear upon management and operating problems. So the line managers get the benefit of specialized knowledge of the staff specialist at the various levels. The expert advice and the guidance given by the staff officers to the line officers benefit the entire organization. Then it is based upon planned specialization. So that advantages for this line and staff organization is a greater flexibility in the sense that a new specialized activities can be added to the line activities without disturbing the line procedure. Then the main part, the staff specialists help the line managers in taking better decisions by providing expert advice. Now, next part for this disadvantages for this line and staff authority. Here we can have a number of disadvantages. The staff managers are not accountable for the result, so they may not be performing their duties well. But the line managers are accountable, so they are producing their work as much as best way. Then, although expert information and advice are available, they reach the workers through the officers and the risk for misunderstanding and misinterpretation. The staff experts may be ineffective because they do not get the authority to implement their recommendations. The line managers sometimes may represent the activities of staff members, then feeling that some other influence of line managers suffer from the presence of the specialist. So, in general, the line managers deal with the problems in a more practical manner, but the staff officials who are specialized in their fields tend to be more theoretical. Right? In conclude, this may hamper coordination in the organization. Then the reasons are cause for conflict here. Arguments of line executives against staff. Then see this here arguments of staff executive against line. So both are vice versa. Then here the dilution of authority. It is that resistance to the new plans and ideas. Here stealing show. Here is a support from line executive. The lack of practical knowledge, here it is a theoretical. Uh, Here it is the we are moving to the practical way. Lacks of human skills, here lack of support from top management. The domination of staff manager, here it is a limited cooperation from line executive. Here easy access to top management, here the supply of inadequate information. And the stress on paperwork, because it is a line executive, we need to maintain each and everything on a documentation wise. Here absence of authority. So up to this, our line and staff authority is over, right? So in this part, your organization structure, the main first type is line and staff authority. In other words, the principles of the organization, the main first part is line and staff relationship. So nothing but line and staff authority, right? So in this, our upcoming classes, we will see that delegation of authority and departmentalization and centralization and decentralization, right? So in this part, you see here our line and staff authority covers these seven levels of authority: tell and sell and consult, agree, advise, inquire, and delegate. Right. So we need to know clearly about these seven levels. Then in the seven levels, we are mainly come to our line and staff authority. Right. So just to I want to complete for this line and staff authority. So in this class, we are seeing n number of different differentiation and a comparative analysis for these two authority. Then the various work fact and who's the main role and who's the superior and which one is your effective and efficiency way. These all the parts are covered in our today's class. Alright, as then finally completed with this topic for the reason and causes for conflict. So here your arguments of line executives against staff, then arguments of staff executive against your line. So you are conclude with these seven comparison. Right. So to up to this today's class is over. Do you have any doubt for this types of organization and line and staff authority? Do you have any doubt? Up to this, do you have any doubt? It is a full theoretical part, right? In your previous two units are some story-based part of topics, but in this third unit, organizing is the entirely full depth core theory, right? So up to this, do you have any doubt? No. If you don't have any doubt, please leave the class. Thank you, students.